Hey everybody, I'm Tim Mooney. I am back with episode 4 of Shakespeare's Dirty Jokes. This time around, it's Act 1, Scene 4 of Twelfth Night. As I mentioned before, I'm spending the summer bringing my latest one-man show, Breakneck Twelfth Night, to a bunch of festivals, and all that work has surprised even me of just how many dirty jokes Shakespeare has snuck into this one, and of just how those dirty jokes may, for lack of a better term, prick up your ears to focus in on what Shakespeare is sometimes saying or implying. In our first Twelfth Night Explainers, we explored scenes 1, 2, and 3. Those opening scenes dealt at length with Olivia's mourning for her late brother as the action moved from Duke Orsino's palace to the seacoast to Olivia's house. With this very brief scene, we cycle back to Duke Orsino's palace. In a very short period of time, 3 days, as they will mention, Viola, in her assumed disguise as Cesario, has worked her way into Orsino's good graces, as Orsino has had some deep, soulful discussions with what he thinks is his male servant or eunuch, and Viola is clearly emotionally touched by Orsino's passion and sincerity. Given that Orsino's other servant, Valentine, failed even to get his foot into the door to plead his case, Orsino will now pass Valentine's assignment to this new, more clever, perhaps more empathetic servant. Aside from our first introduction to a cross-dressing Viola, there's only one particular Shakespearean dirty joke I notice in this scene, and it may be entirely unintended, but either way it's a pretty good one. As Orsino muses on Cesario's likely success in wooing Olivia on his behalf, he proposes that Cesario's youth may win Olivia's sympathy and attention. In particular, he points out that Cesario's small pipe is as the Maiden's organ. Again, Shakespeare may not have meant this as a joke at all, and literally, Orsino is talking about Cesario's throat, or his youthful, high-pitched voice as a small pipe, in the same way that a high-pitched flute may be called a pipe. But I would never bet against Shakespeare's ability to play with words. It is also possible that subconsciously Orsino has noticed that Cesario is not particularly endowed with that other kind of pipe, as down below, as it were, Cesario is not especially equipped, and the lack of such equipment, coincidentally, would also be reminiscent of a maiden's organ. Again, I don't know if Shakespeare is reaching for this particular dirty joke, and in my various studies of the literature around this play, I've never noticed anyone point this out before, but the pipe metaphor does work as an organ up above as well as down below. And I tend to play this as if Orsino intends to be talking about Cesario's voice, but finds his mind drifting to an alternate interpretation even as he speaks. In fact, the more he muses upon this, his mind does in fact drift to Cesario's looks more than his voice, as he continues to notice that all is semblative, a woman's part. I think the audience gets tickled when a character comes right up to the edge of discovering a secret that they all know, but then dismisses that crucial bit of truth. We'll see this come up again, especially in approaching scenes with Olivia. And so, Act 1, Scene 4 of Breakneck Twelfth Night. Duke Orsino's palace. Enter Valentine and Viola, now disguised as a man under the name Cesario. In other words, the male actor is portraying the female Viola, now passing as a man Cesario. Double drag. If the Duke continue in these favours to you, Cesario, you are like to be much advanced. He hath known you but 3 days, and already you are no stranger. Is he inconstant, sir, in his favours? Enter the Duke. Cesario, I have unclasped to thee the book of my secret soul. Therefore, address thy gate unto her, stand at her doors, and tell them there thy fixed foot shall grow till thou have audience. Say, I do speak with her, my lord, what then? O then, unfold the passion of my love. She will attend it better in thy youth. Thy small pipe is as the maiden's organ, shrill and sound, and all is semblative a woman's part. Prosper well in this, and thou shalt call my fortunes thine. I'll do my best to woo thy lady, yet such strife, whoe'er I woo, myself would be his wife. So that's Act 1, Scene 4 of Breakneck Twelfth Night. Just a short one today, as the next scene, Scene 5, is much more elaborate, and we'll need more time for that. Be sure to subscribe to catch that and all those dirty jokes spanning the 4 more acts that follow. Once again, I'm Tim Mooney with the Timothy Mooney Repertory Theater, and I bring these breakneck shows to theaters around the United States. I would love to come and perform for you and your school or group. You can find my work online at timmooneyRep.com with video versions at breakneckshakespeare.com. See you on the stage.